إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما مزيدا. قال الله عز وجل بعد أن أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Dear brothers and sisters, always at this time of year we see a very special set of human responses happening. Last week, I think it was, we had GCSE results coming out. The week before, a few weeks before, A-level results, degree results. And whether it's yourself who received the result, your family member, or if you can recall back to maybe back in the day when you received your exam results, we all experienced, we all observed something very interesting. When somebody puts in all that hard work, studying day and night for the exams, they finally get that envelope, or they finally get that message that the exam results are out. How do they act? Some people are so nervous. Some people give it to someone else, I can't read it. Some people tear through that envelope, want to get it over and done with. And then what's the reaction on their face? What's the reaction in their body language? If you do well in an exam, that excitement, you want to tell everyone. That shukr that you give to Allah, that gratitude. If you do badly at an exam, any test, even if it's a driving test, you feel some kind of this sense of failure, something in your throat, some sadness. You want to hide it. You wish you never saw it. And this always reminds me of the scene that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala paints for us. When one day we will all get our results. Not of GCSEs, not of A-levels or degree results, but the results of the exam of this life. Those whose good deeds outweigh their bad deeds will get their exam results in their right hand. May Allah make us all among them. But those whose bad deeds outweighed their good deeds, those whose primary goal in life, they were chasing something else other than preparing themselves for that day, they will receive their results, their record, their book in their left hand or behind their back. But look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala paints us a picture of that scene. When He says, فَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِيَمِينِهِ. And as for the one who gets his result, who gets his record in his right hand, this is a person who's passed the test. What will he say? هَاؤُمُ اقْرَءُوا كِتَابِيَهْ. He'll say, hey, look at my result. So excited. Just like you are when you get a good result for this class. Mom, Dad, look how well I did in my exams. I'm going to college, I'm going to university. He's going to say, I'm going to Jannah. Can you imagine the happiness? What does he say? What does he say straight after that in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's description of this scene? إِنِّي ظَنَنْتُ أَنِّي مُلَاقٍ حِسَابِيَهْ. He'll say, I knew this day was going to come. I knew that we were going to get our results. He could have said so many things. Thank God I prayed so much. Thank God I gave so much sadaqah. No. He'll say, I knew this result was coming. I knew a result was coming. I knew we were going to be judged. I knew there was a day of resurrection. And that is what affects your behavior. If you do 2 courses, just in this life, in school, in college, whatever. One of the courses is no exam, there's no grade. And one course, there's a grade you're waiting for. That's important for you. There's a judgment at the end of it. Which one would you work harder for normally? Just logically. When you know the result is coming, when you know your actions are being judged, you work hard. Or you should work hard if you're an intelligent person. If you're a wise person. And that is what he'll say. I knew that there was a judgment. I knew that there was a hisab coming. But what about the person? And pay attention to the other person's narrative, dear brothers and sisters. Particularly in context to our children getting their GCSE A-level results now. وَأَمَّا مَنْ أُوتِيَ كِتَابَهُ بِالشِّمَالِ. And as for the one who gets his record in his left hand, the one who failed the test of this life, the one whose bad deeds were so many compared to his good, فَيَقُولُ, and he will say, يَا لَيْتَنِي لَمْ أُوتَ حِسَابِيَا. Oh, woe to me, I wish I wasn't given this. I wish I wasn't given this, my result. وَلَمْ أَدْرِ مَا حِسَابِيَا. And I wish I didn't even know what I got. I wish I didn't know any of this. يَا لَيْتَهَا كَانَتِ الْقَاضِيَةِ. Not only that, oh my God, I wish I was finished. I wish this was the end. I wish I was destroyed. Why? Because he knows what's coming. Any test in this life you fail, the vast majority, you can retake. You can do something else. There's no retakes for the main exam of life. But what's very important, I want us to pay attention. He mentioned 2 other things here. What does he say? Does he say, oh, I wish I didn't do so many sins? Or what do you think this person is? Maybe he's a murderer, he's a killer or something. No. He'll say, مَا أَغْنَى عَنِّي مَالِيًا هَلَكَ عَنِّي سُلْطَانِيًا. He'll say, my wealth didn't avail me in the end. My wealth didn't help me. And the status, the authority, the position that I used to have is good. One key reason this is very important for us today is we need to reflect, what message are we giving our children when it comes to their exams? There's a tremendous amount of pressure on our young people. Why are they being pushed to succeed in their exams? If many of us reflect, if we're frank with ourselves, it's because we want these 2 things for our children. We want them to have wealth and we want them to have status. Now, I'm not saying there's something intrinsically haram about these things. But what messages are we giving our young people? What is their core aim in life that we're imbuing onto them? A friend of mine, he did a survey with 25 young people, Muslims, and he asked them a question: what would make your parents proud of you? Only 2 mentioned anything to do with the deen. The rest of them, 23 out of 25, they mentioned, if I get a good job, if I get good exam results. Now again, getting a good job, getting good exam results is not haram. In fact, we should all be aiming for excellence. But what is our primary concern that we're instilling, that we're transmitting to the next generation? Are we creating a generation whose primary concern in life is mal and sultan, like this person who receives his book in his left hand? Or are we creating a generation, are we transmitting our tarbiyah to the next generation to create a people who get the best jobs, get the best grades, even are millionaires, but they're doing that for a higher purpose? They're doing that because they have a vision. They have a vision. They want to meet Allah having done X, Y, and Z. These two are two worlds apart. Even though they may look the same outwardly. They may look the same, if they may be driving the same car, they may be getting the same results, they may be getting the same paycheck. But internally, one is doing it for this life. One is doing it for the prestige, the status, the label that comes with doctor this or professor that. And one is doing it because this is a tool, this status, this position is a tool to reach to something higher. We internally as parents may recognize the importance. Yes, Allah is number one, of course. I'll make sure at least he goes to Jum'ah. My children, I'll give them Islamic sounding names. I'll give my zakah, I'll make sure they pray as much as they can. But what are our actions telling our children? Would we be more upset as parents if they failed an exam than if they missed their salah? Let's be honest. Would we have the same amount of hesitation of paying 30, 40, 50 pounds an hour for a maths tutor as paying 15 pounds an hour for a Quran teacher? What type of messages are our children getting from us? What is our primary concern, primary goal for them? Now in the next khutbah I want us to delve a bit deeper on this. Does your primary goal being Allah mean that you fail your exams, mean that you don't aim for the stars? No. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Young brothers and sisters in particular, listen up. There are some very, very important key lessons I want you all to take away from this khutbah. In particular, if you're young, I want you to memorize this. I want you to teach this to your friends. I want you to live this. Number one, Islam is ease. Islam is ease. It's not hardship. Number two, Islam is easy to excel in. Islam is easy to excel in. And number three, more Islam is good for you in everything in your life. Number one, Islam is ease. Number two, Islam is easy to excel in. You can be a great Muslim. And number three, more Islam is good for you. The more Islam you have in your life, in your society, the better everything is. Why is this relevant to exams, to doing well in your studies, to getting a good career or a job? Because Islam does not want you to get a bad grade in your school. Islam does not want you to have a bad, quote-unquote, bad job. But why? Why are you going towards that exam? Why are you studying? Why are you going to school? Why are you getting that job? Why are you aiming for that job? There's something inside here. There's a very important saying. Adatul ghafilin, ibadatul salihin. The mundane, just the general actions of heedless people are in fact actions of worship for righteous people. What does this mean? It means everyone does these general actions. Everyone goes to school at some point or gets an education. Everyone goes to work. Everyone tries to earn a living. Everyone goes to the shop and buys milk and bread. Everyone drives. Everyone walks. Everyone sleeps. Everyone talks. Everyone does these things. But a Muslim who's thinking about the exam of this life, who's thinking about passing the exam, who's thinking about going to Jannah, coming close to Allah, when he or she is sleeping, they're getting rewarded for it. It's adding to their good deeds on Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Day of Judgment. When he or she walks, they're getting rewarded for it. When he or she talks, they're getting rewarded for it. When he or she goes to school, they're getting rewarded for it. When they get a job, they're getting rewarded for it. When they're buying milk and bread and paying the gas bill and the water bill, the electricity bill, they're getting rewarded from Allah for those mundane actions. Why? Even when they're relaxing, even when they're having fun, you could be getting rewarded by Allah. How? Because of your intention. Everyone sleeps. But if your sleep is intended for the sake of Allah, the sleep is transformed into worship. If your intention is, I'm so tired, I want to go to sleep, fine, you can sleep, no problem. But if your intention is, I'm so tired, but I need to rest my body so that I can wake up refreshed and then I can worship Allah. Or your intention is, I want to take care of my body which Allah gave me as a trust and it has rights over me, then your sleep becomes worship. If all of your kids, all of your friends might go to school, for example, your classmates, they might wake up early and be a bit groggy and angry and then just begrudgingly go to school. But you, when you wake up in the morning, you go to school. Why? Because you want to obey your parents. Why? Because you know if you obey your parents, Allah becomes pleased with you and will reward you for that. So your friend might just be doing things, going along this life like sheep. Because everyone's doing something, I'll do it as well. But you are not like that. You are not like that. You are thinking when you're doing something, why am I doing this? Eventually, because I want to please Allah, because I want Allah to reward me. Your parents, for example, might want you to get excellent results in your exams. Many people's parents, many kids, their parents push them. Study. That's somebody else. When you study, why do you study? Why do you work hard in your exams? Because I want to please my parents, because pleasing my parents means Allah will become pleased with me and He will reward you. Or, why do you want to do excellent in your exams? Because I want to get a high qualification. Why? I want to get excellent A-levels. Why? I want to go to medicine. I want to go to study medicine. Why? I want to become a doctor. Why? Because Allah said if you save one life, it's like you saved all of humanity. And by saving each life, I will get rewarded from Allah. That transforms everything in the chain before that into worship. If you have that intention in mind. So doing that medical degree becomes worship. It will add to your scales of good deeds on Yawm al-Qiyamah, Day of Judgment. The money you pay to do that degree, becomes counted as sadaqah, as charity, then Allah will reward you for it. That days and nights you spend studying, becoming tired, if you have that goal, if you have that vision, remember that word vision. If you have that intention, you have that vision that I want to do this for Allah, then even your all-nighters that you pull, every book in the library that you read, every pound you spend on that journey for that vision, it gets transformed into worship. Islam is easy to excel in. You see, if you end up in medical school, all of your friends, all of your colleagues would have done the same thing beforehand. But the intention might have been money, status. But your intention was Allah, paradise, escaping the hellfire. All of your actions were the same, but something inside here was different. You had a long-term vision. Whilst your friends, they were just going along because everyone else is going along, because people said, yeah, that's a good thing to do. That is what we want to instill in our younger brothers and sisters. Have a long-term vision. Think to yourself, even if you're 5, 6 years old now, start thinking about this. We say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a fireman, I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be that. Think, what do you want to achieve before meeting Allah? When you get your book of your good deeds on the Day of Judgment, what do you want to be written in that book? And I swear, if you are 5, 6 years old and you start thinking about this, you can do amazing things in your life, inshallah. Why not aim for the stars? You could say, I want to be a billionaire and set up this project and that project and fix this problem and help those people. Nobody is telling you to be poor. Islam is not telling you to be poor, but have a vision. Why do you want to be rich? You want to be rich so you can just waste time and not have to work and just chill out all day? Fair enough, fine. You're wasting the potential that Allah has given you. Or do you want to be rich because you have a vision? I want to do something special. I want to save lives. I want to bring people close to Allah. I want to alleviate poverty. I want to stop poor people being poor. There are so many things in this life, in this world, that need fixing. You can have the vision now when you're 5, 10, 15 years old. Your vision can be, I want to do something great to address that problem, to address that issue. This is why the more Islam there is, the better it is for you. Islam is ease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We have certainly created man in toil. We have created man in toil. وَهَدَيْنَاهُ النَّجْدَيْنِ. And as for man, we have guided him with respect to two high paths. Two paths with some difficulty. The whole of life is toil, is difficulty. Life is going to have some difficulty. But يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرِ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرِ. Allah desires for you ease. He does not wish for you hardship. What do all these things mean together? When you put it together, it means this. There are two paths you can take in life generally. One path is going towards Allah, one path is going away from Allah. And pay attention, brothers and sisters, especially young brothers and sisters. Both paths in life will have difficulty in them. Both paths in life will have difficulty. The path that's going away from Allah may seem like it's got ease, may seem easy, but it's easy at the beginning and it will lead to much hardship later on. It's easy to become lazy and not wake up for Fajr. It's easy to be stingy and not give sadaqah. It's easy when your father is saying, pray, get up, let's go into the masjid. It's easy to say, no, I want to just lie down and relax. But that leads to a hardship. The type of human being that kind of behavior produces is a person who has a very difficult life. But the other path, the other steep incline, the path towards Allah, it might seem difficult at the beginning. It's difficult to wake up early. It's difficult to obey your parents sometimes. It's difficult if you have some money and you love that money to give that away for the sake of Allah. It's difficult. I'm not saying that in isolation is easy. But if you, at the beginning, especially when you're young, if you train yourself to obey Allah, if you train yourself to wake up, if you train yourself to have that discipline, I swear to Allah, your life will be full of ease later on. Ease. Even when you do have a difficulty and a calamity comes, you're pleased, you're happy. You're so content with Allah's medicine that He's giving you because you know you have some knowledge by that time. Overall, there are two paths in life. The path going towards Allah, it might have some difficulty in the beginning, but it makes you stronger, it makes you a more disciplined person. It makes you a more successful person later on who will have a truly easy life, especially in the hereafter. Unadulterated, continuous ease. But a person who chooses the other path, short-term gratification, short-term ease, short-term relief, that person's life will become so full of difficulties. Just ask people who work in the NHS, for example, people who work for the police, people who work in social care. They are the people who see what we, the rest of us, don't see in the newspaper or don't see on TV. They see the problems with society bubbling under the surface. The neglected people, the victims of crime, increasingly unbelievable types of crimes and behavior. Because people deep down, those who take the path away from Allah deep down, they're desperately trying to find something to fill that gap. They turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol, they turn to consumerism, buying the latest this or that. Ask those people working in those fields who have to pick up the mess, pick up the pieces of the broken society. Ask them what the result is of a path leading away from Allah. So young brothers and sisters in particular, remember, Islam is ease. There might be some little difficulties along the way, but overall, Islam leads towards ease. It will make your life, especially in the hereafter, so easy. But you have to work hard. Everyone has to toil. Everyone has to put in hard work. But the path going away from Allah, that's full of difficulties later on. People who try and cut corners and skip the hard work, later on it will catch up with them and they will have a miserable life. Number one, remember this, Islam is ease. The more Islam you have in your life, in your society, the more ease and harmony there will be in your family, in your society, in your neighborhood. Number two, Islam is easy to excel in. You can be an amazing Muslim. You don't have to give up your education. You don't have to give up your job. You don't have to give up your ambitions for changing the world. No, you use that as a result. You will become an excellent Muslim. You will become a Siddiq, the highest type of Muslim you can be. Even if you're a millionaire, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a businessman, you're a politician, you're whatever, any type of career, you can be a Siddiq. Islam is easy to excel in. And number three is what? Islam is good for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized this when He sent our parents down, Adam alayhi salam and Hawa. فَأَمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُمْ مِنِّي هُدًى فَمَنِ اتَّبَعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا يَضِلُّ وَلَا يَشْقَى. Go down, all of you, to earth. And whenever there comes from me to you a guidance, whoever follows my guidance, they will not suffer, and they will not be in hardship, they will not go astray. وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا. But whoever turns away from my remembrance, from my reminder, then for him is a miserable life. And we see this around us if we scratch beneath the surface and we look. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give our children and our society, our future generation and ourselves the best in this dunya, and more importantly the best in the hereafter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to let them excel in their studies and their careers, but use them as tools to reach up higher to the stars. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our shortcomings and to strengthen us as a community. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا من القوم الكافرين. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وأقيموا الصلاة.